Welcome. My name is Robert Amador, and I'm an attorney with Centennial Law Offices, specializing in consumer protection law. In the following 7-minute video, we're going to talk about what you can do to stop telephone harassment and other unlawful debt collection activity. Now, it does not matter whether a debt collection agency is dialing your number to speak with you, or if they're dialing your number only because they have the wrong number in their file and they are asking for somebody whom you do not even know, most often with a computerized automated dialer. Either way, you are protected under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, commonly abbreviated as the FDCPA. The FDCPA is federal law that was specifically enacted to regulate the activities and practices of debt collection agencies. Now, we're going to go over some of the more common violations committed under the FDCPA. But first I want to add that the National Do Not Call Registry has absolutely nothing to do with regulating calls from debt collection agencies, whether they be harassing or otherwise. That is with the FDCPA. Second, we're going to go over your rights and remedies if you have been a victim of FDCPA violations, which includes telephone harassment. We're going to talk about how you can stop those calls within a few days and then seek the monetary compensation of which you are entitled if you are a victim of any FDCPA violations, including telephone harassment. Now let's look at the common violations of the FDCPA. It is a violation if a debt collector calls you repeatedly, including with the unfortunately popular use of automated computer calls. It does not matter whether or not they leave you a message on your voicemail, whether you answer the phone, or whether they're just causing your phone to ring. A debt collector cannot inform third parties that you owe a debt. A debt collector cannot call you before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. A debt collector must identify themselves when they are calling you or a third party concerning you. Now, a recurring violation that we see is where a debt collector calls you and demands that you identify yourself by your name before they identify themselves. This is a violation. A debt collector cannot engage in any conduct of which the natural consequence is to be harassing, oppressive, or abusive. Now, this includes making any types of threats, including threats to garnish your wages, use of any obscene languages, excessive telephone calls, etc. A debt collector cannot call your place of employment either after you or your employer have forbade such calls. And finally, a debt collector cannot continue to contact you after you have informed them in writing that you refuse to pay the debt. Now, there are narrow exceptions to some of the rules as stated above, but in general, if a debt collection agency has engaged in any of these actions, a violation has been committed. Now let's look at liability for violations of the FDCPA. Now keep in mind that if the debt collection agency has engaged in any of the activities of which we just went over, they are liable to you for the following damages. You may recover any actual damages incurred as a result of the violation or violations. You may recover additional statutory damages up to $1,000. Statutory damages means you don't need to prove any harm, any losses to yourself. The only thing that needs to be shown is the debt collection agency actually engaged in any of the violations of which we went over. And lastly, in order to enforce your rights, if an attorney must bring an action, your attorney's fees may be paid by the debt collection agency. Now, this is important, and the reason why you will pay Centennial Law Offices no out-of-pocket legal fees for representation. Legal fees are paid entirely and only from any recovery obtained from the collection agency. Some law firms will charge you a fee and or court costs amounting to several $100s. With Centennial Law Offices, you will pay nothing out of your pocket. This, of course, is also clearly stated in writing in your representation agreement with Centennial Law Offices. Now, if you have experienced any of the violations as described in this video, the first step in stopping the calls and receiving possible monetary compensation is to file a telephone harassment report. To do so, you may simply click on the link provided in the video description. Or, if you are watching this video off of our website, click on the appropriate link directly under the video. This will take you to the telephone harassment page. This page provides information similar to that of what you have just seen in this video. You may then click on the telephone harassment report link to file the report itself. Centennial Law Offices responds to these reports very quickly, usually within 2 to 3 hours, 7 days a week. An attorney will review your report. If a violation of the FDCPA is determined, you will immediately be sent representation materials by email, and within 48 hours, we will contact the offending collection agency to stop the calls and then move to obtain possible monetary compensation for you.